appear before the Goa Sessions Court. But the arguments presented by them seems to have not been bought by the court. The court does not seem impressed with the arguments that have been made by Luthra Brothers, and their anticipatory bail application has been dismissed by Rohini Court. So a big setback to Luthra Brothers. Remember what they told the court? They said they have not fled India. They went to Thailand on a business trip. They also said that there were 2 entry and exit points. And if that was the case, then why did people find it so difficult to escape the fire tragedy? The Council for Goa government demolished the arguments that were presented by Luthra Brothers, saying that they wanted to evade law and that's the reason why they fled. Let's go across to Dipankar. Big news coming in. Dipankar, massive setback for Luthra Brothers.
There was a massive setback for the Luthra Brothers, and their transit anticipatory bail has been denied, which means that they will be taken into custody as soon as they arrive on Indian shores. Currently, they are being detained, and what we've been told that they are detained in the Thailand, and whenever they arrive, they will.
Okay, there's some disturbance in the audio line. Dipankar, we'll fix that. I'll come back to you. Meanwhile, a quick recap for our viewers of the arguments that were presented in the court. Remember, Luthra Brothers applied for an anticipatory bail application. They first fled the country the moment they heard about the tragedy. They made a plan, booked their tickets at 1:17 in the dead of the night, and took the 5 a.m. flight to Thailand. But in the court, they say this was a business trip. That's how they travel. They often book tickets just a couple of hours before they travel. They also said the fire tragedy was an accident, not intentional. Let's go across to Priyank. Priyank, all those arguments have not impressed the court. Their anticipatory bail application has been dismissed.
Yes, Swati, that's a major breaking which is coming out from the Rohini Court, where the Rohini Court, after listening to the argument for 2 consecutive days, has rejected the transit bail, the application of the transit anticipatory bail of both the Luthra Brothers dismissed. That's a major setback for the Luthra Brothers. Instead of them cooking up stories, trying to convince the court that they were going for some personal visit and some business visit, is certainly not standing true. Because the prosecution had made this point very clear that the tickets were booked at around 1:15, and it is highly impossible for the accused to actually go to some location, fixing the tickets within 2 hours before the flight can actually take off from the national capital. It's certainly not right. What sources have also been suggesting that the Luthra Brothers were there in a wedding when they had booked this particular ticket. They got to know about this particular tragedy which has happened. They preferred to leave the country, and the court has certainly taken up all these points from the prosecution and now the bail application.
Priyank, let's also go across to Dipankar, who was present there in the court. Dipankar, I understand it will take time for the detailed order to come in. Any observations that were made part of the order? What did the court say? Any additional details?
Well, as of now, the details are not yet known, because it was just a one-word pronouncement that was done, where it was just said that the applications moved by the Luthra Brothers have been dismissed, which means that they, as soon as they step foot in the Indian territory, they will be taken into custody by the investigating agencies and the Goa police. They have the court has very clearly, now we can say, refused all the arguments that were made by the defense counsels while they were arguing this entire bail application, anticipatory bail application, where they were stating that there are 2 exits and always there is a threat to their life, and the police agencies are moving in a vindictive way where they are taking out revenge against these guys. So all these arguments that were being raised by the defense counsels of Luthra Brothers have now been dismissed by the court, and court has said that court has refused to grant any kind of transit anticipatory bail. And now, as soon as they step foot in the Indian territory, they will be taken into custody by the Goa police, and then we will have to wait and watch as to what further proceedings happen in the Goa court. But as of now, the transit anticipatory bail has been denied, and they have to now be taken. They will be now taken into custody by the investigating agencies that are investigating.
Well, the teams are preparing to leave for Thailand. We're given to understand that process will perhaps take place tomorrow. The handing over of the Luthra Brothers to the team that goes from India. But Dipankar, very quickly, if you could also reflect on the arguments that were presented, because in court, Luthra Brothers said that they did not flee, that the authorities are acting, against them out of vengeance, and they also made a claim about the entry and exit points. Dipankar?
Well, yes, these submissions were made, and they had said that the authorities are acting in a vengeful manner, because they had pointed out that on the first day NBWs were issued by the Goa court, and on the very next day proclamation of Indus proceeding was initiated in the Goa court. So these were the arguments that were made. However, these allegations were denied by the Goa police, and they had very clearly and very categorically stated that there were no licenses that were given, that the licenses that were given were not valid when this entire incident happened, that they had expired, and the Luthra brothers knew as soon as they got to know about the incident that had happened, and within 1.5 hours they booked the ticket, and on the very next day, in the early morning flight of 5 a.m., they fled the country and had gone to Thailand. So these were the allegations that were leveled, and the Delhi police as well as the Goa police also denied all the claims that were made regarding the medical history of the Luthra brothers, and they had said that these are fabricated claims that are being made. There are no such medical history. However, the counsel for the Luthra brothers had kept on stressing on the fact that there is some neural issues with one of the brothers, and the other brother is having an epilepsy episode, because of which these medical history should be taken into consideration. However, the court has denied all these allegations that were being leveled by the counsel for the Luthra brothers, and has now refused to grant any kind of transit anticipatory bail. That means their legal options are getting shut down.
They are exhausting their legal options. This also means the moment they set foot in India, they will be taken into custody. Their anticipatory bail application has been dismissed by the Delhi Rohini court. Times Now is keeping you ahead on every front as we report this big story. We told you about the tragedy first, about the escape plan, their escape to Thailand, their detention in Thailand, their passports being impounded, and now about this massive setback to Luthra brothers as well. Dipankar and Priyank, thank you for getting us the details. Quick break.